All right. So let's recap on divisional round. So before we get on to this topic, sponsored by SeatGeek, use the promo code CG Ruthless to save yourself $20 on your first purchase. So please download the app, repost and share the content, and let's get on. Okay, so for my 2 cents on the playoff game, what happened last week on Wildcard Week was crazy. But this week, you saw how these games could have gone either way. Okay, so when you were watching today's game, the Rams and Eagles, it kind of went down to the wire. So as much as I was talking smack about the Rams, I do have to say they did play their hearts out there. Their defense actually was very much a problem for the Eagles throughout the game. It's just the play from the Eagles pretty much sealed the game. So even as a Niners fan, I have to give credit where it's due. The Philadelphia Eagles, they kind of gave them the Rams some opportunities and they couldn't capitalize it. So when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they took care of business. They were at a moment where they were a little bit slumped for a minute, and then they started getting it together. But there was a moment that they could have almost choked that game. So bottom line is the Philadelphia Eagles got the job done. So the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills, this was a close game. If it wasn't for Mark Andrews' fumble, Baltimore probably would have pulled off this game. But looking at how this game could have gone, man, it could have gone either way too, man. So, yeah, it could have went either way. But now the question that everybody was kind of curious, is Josh Allen the real MVP? I think he's proven otherwise with less talent, and he's proven otherwise. The defense bailed them out, but Josh got the job done. So yes, he deserves to be MVP of the league for sure. So you're looking forward to these other matchups, okay? So when I was watching the game yesterday, or checking the game yesterday, the Washington Commanders, I didn't have that on my bingo card. I'm going to be honest. I didn't have that on my bingo card. When they beat the Detroit Lions, bro, I had the Lions as my lock. But hey, crazy things happen. So Jaden Daniels, bro, surprised everybody into the playoffs. We knew he was a pretty good quarterback, but we didn't know how good he was in the playoffs, man. They already got 2 wins. Did anybody had the Washington Commanders on their bingo card? Not me. Detroit Lions, bro, I guess that bye week just wasn't quite the advantage for them. They weren't ready. So they got beat by 2 touchdowns. That's crazy. So what the Commanders did the other week, man, proves otherwise. This was not a fluke for them. They beat Tampa Bay by a field goal, but it wasn't a fluke. So what you saw with Kansas City, okay, no surprise, man. Everybody has doubts on how that game could have gone, but you can't always determine the outcome by the refs, you know? Kansas City just seemed to capitalize, you know? They won by a touchdown or so. So, you know, there could have been some calls here and there, a little questionable, but you know, it's Kansas City. They come away with the win, even with how people look at it, you know? There were some questionable hits on Mahomes, there were some questionable plays on Mahomes, but at the end of the day, the Chiefs just got it done. So now you're going to see a NFC Championship game for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders. This is going to be like a rubber match because both teams have split. So they're playing a third time this season. Now that you see that the Buffalo Bills and Chiefs, I think this can be a redemption for the Buffalo Bills because they lost last year's playoffs. So I think there's something on the line for the Bills. They want to make a Super Bowl appearance, of course. And the Chiefs have been proven to be dominant at the end of the day. But now you see that the Philadelphia Eagles, they're a better football team coming into the link. But Commanders are a hot football team. So that record's out the window. So we'll see what happens this coming next week. But I will give you my 2 cents on those type of games going into this next week. But all right, man. That's all I got to say, man. Be sure to subscribe to my Graveyard Sports Talk. I'll definitely give you guys all 32 teams, including the Niners, of course. But I got to be honest, man. Today's games were pretty close. They were pretty good. So I got to say, man. But, yeah. So kudos to the Philadelphia Eagles for getting the job done. And kudos to the Buffalo Bills for getting this done, you know? Hey, there was a lot of game-changing plays at the end of the day. Jalen Carter with the game-changing play. And then Mark Andrews' fumble cost Baltimore, you know? So it is what it is.